Hello, Tomasz Szafanaker here with your latest weather update. And let's take a look at North America first. In the heart of the continent, the weather's relatively quiet, but in the Pacific Northwest, wind and rain. We've got some wind and rain also moving across the Great Lakes region and eastern parts of Canada, as well as the far east of Canada. And here are the highs on Saturday. Let's take a look at South America now. You can see the rainfall in the tropics here, and also weather systems bringing cooler conditions to the southern tip of the continent, 14 degrees there across southern areas of Chile. Now in Europe on Sunday, and some thunderstorms expected from Italy, the Alpine region, in fact stretching from southern France into parts of Germany too. Western parts of Russia, pretty chilly at the moment, 10 degrees in Moscow, a hint of autumn in the air. And let's take a look at Africa, 21 degrees in Cape Town, but it's actually very hot inland across South Africa, temperatures well in excess of 30 degrees Celsius. And looking across the western tropics here, lots of showers around. Across the Middle East, temperatures of around 36 expected in Baghdad and will be sub 40 also in Riyadh. Across the subcontinent, a low pressure forming in the Bay of Bengal. That's expected to bring a lot of heavy rain. It's possibly going to be a cyclonic storm as it makes landfall in Odisha over the course of Sunday. Here's a look at Asia Pacific. Lots of rain here around Southeast Asia in the wake of a tropical storm which recently made landfall in Vietnam. And this is also a tropical cyclone there, expected to become a violent typhoon, in fact, over the coming days, but staying out to sea for now. And the weather across Australia, the other side of the Tasman, New Zealand, a bit of rain there in the North Island, so some spots on the way for, I think, Auckland. That's it from me. Bye-bye.
Thwaites Glacier, it's an incredibly alluring and attractive place to go. I was really excited to visit because every coastline in the world will be changed by what happens in that part of Antarctica. So it's all the more important that we get there with our cameras and show people the changes that are taking place.
So we've been filming out here for an hour and a half, and this is the result. And it gives you an idea of why it's so hard to operate here.
But there's also a story about getting to where we're going. It took us 5 weeks to get to the front of the glacier. Only 4 people had ever been there before.
It has taken years of preparation to get the scientists out here.
And because of all the delays, what I didn't expect was to be camping on ice for 5 weeks.
It's shocking, and you know, we should all be upset by what's happening here.
This is a really important story. This is something people need to know. And if we can understand it, we can do something about it.
This is BBC World News. I'm Lewis Vaughan-Jones. Our top stories. Huawei executive Meng Wanzhou arrives back in China to a hero's welcome after more than 1,000 days under house arrest in Canada. As soon as her freedom was assured, China released the 2 Canadians it's held since days after her arrest. They arrived in Calgary a few hours ago. Angela Merkel takes to the campaign trail alongside her party's candidate as polls predict a tight race in Sunday's German election. Hello and welcome to BBC World News. First, the chief finance officer of the tech giant Huawei has returned to China nearly 3 years after she was detained in Canada on US fraud charges. A crowd of well-wishers greeted Meng Wanzhou at Shenzhen Airport, where a red carpet had been laid out for her. The row over her detention has poisoned relations between the 3 countries for 3 years. Less than an hour earlier, 2 Canadians detained by Beijing, apparently as bargaining chips, touched down back in Canada, where they were greeted by Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. Our North America correspondent David Willis has more on the background to this story.